So since October 6th, Occupy Houston, in coordination with the city of Houston, has been the model for what a safe, respectful, and effective Occupy movement looks like. We have been totally compliant with everything that has been requested of us by the city, HPD, and Parks and Recreation, as well as the downtown event coordinators that we stepped aside peacefully and respectfully to allow their events to continue. On that note, we respect HPD and harbor no ill will or animosity toward them. Throughout this process, their job has been to enforce the policy. That's what they do every day, and for the most part, they do an excellent job. The reason I'm here today, standing in front of you, is that the policy that they're enforcing is unjust. The civility ordinance that we have been under the yoke of for the past month has endangered the safety and health of the Occupy participants. We have been unable to take adequate measures to erect simple shelters for our medical supplies, for our food, for our electronic equipment that allow this thing to happen. That being said, this situation impedes our ability to conduct our First Amendment right to peaceably assemble. We have repeatedly attempted through the traditional official channels to address this issue with the city, and they have refused to even open a discussion with us about it. The actions that were taken last night were by individuals who are passionate about their country, excited about this movement, but frustrated because on a day when we have tornadoes ripping through the city, we are unable to put a plastic tarp over our bedding, over our Band-Aids, over our granola bars to protect ourselves and make our occupation sustainable and effective. This is a serious problem that we need to see action happen on now, immediately. There were some elections that happened last night, and I would think that they would take their job seriously in protecting and serving the citizens of this great city. With that, I will take some questions before I hand over the microphones and the floor to my associate Mary here, who will speak on the details of last night's occurrence. Any questions?
Is this a drastic transition from the relationship that you're used to from the police department in the city of Houston?
I would say no. That being said, we had folks last night who took the personal initiative to make a stand against what they view as an unjust policy that has unreasonably endangered our safety and health. We may see more actions like this going forward. We haven't discussed that. Everything is happening very quickly right now. It is my hope that this draws attention to the issues that we've been dealing with, which are mosquitoes, inclement weather, cold, rain, wind. All of these things are very dangerous to, again, as I said, our safety and health. And hopefully going forward, this will highlight and bring a lot more attention to this issue and get at least a discussion started on it, because we have not even been able to achieve that as of yet.
Where are the people that were arrested last night?
The folks that were arrested last night, there were half a dozen of them. They are currently at the municipal jail located on Lubbock Street. There will be a arraigned today, as I understand.
Of 7 total, they've separated them from different courts. Sean Crump is located at Reisner. Amanda Kaiser is at Macawa. Rico Herrera is in Lubbock, and we're currently awaiting the status of the last 4 that were arrested. Chris Moratis, Eric Head, Matthew S., and Remington A.
Any further questions for me?
Does Occupy Houston currently have a legal body present?
Yes, we have an extensive legal team that, in fact, just started a chapter of the National Lawyers Guild here in Houston, of which our legal team are members, founding members.
One lawyer was present with us during all of the arrests. Him and his wife were detained for jaywalking across the crosswalk where a police squad car had been parked. They were unable to get across the crosswalk because there was a squad car parked there. At that point, then the police arrested them, cuffed them, put them in the back of squad cars, took them around, and then dropped them off at the hobby center shortly later.
Can you walk us through what happened, what led up to the arrest?
Early on, I think we arrived right at the beginning. Sean Trump, two-time Iraqi war veteran, homeland commander, he was our occupation pretty much from the start. He runs our grievances down here. We had tarps covering our equipment, solar panels, pretty much where we've been getting our electricity from. It was in this tarp, this tent, and they came in, they warned us that we had to take it down. He stood his ground. They came, and then about 3 more times, I think it was 4 times total, that they had requested him to remove his tent. When he denied, more cops, as this was going along, started to show up. We ended up at the end, we were 27 police officers, 19 squad cars, and a paddy wagon. They lined up in, I believe, 4 or 5 rows and marched down the stairway right here to where his tent was set up. They pulled them out, ripped the tarp up, took the trash cans, everything that was, we had replaced all of our valuable equipment. They had let us know that they would confiscate everything that was under the tent or tarp, so we took it all away, replaced it with trash cans, tables, chairs, things that we could afford to lose. At this point, they did end up arresting Remington for simply requesting a badge number and name, which is our constitutional right. We ended up with a few badge numbers and names of the cops that were willing to give them to us. Unfortunately, the ones that were not necessarily treating us the way that we should have been treated were the ones that refused badge numbers and names. And Remington politely requested, "Sir, may I please have your name and badge number?" The cop then screamed in his face that he needed to back up. He took a step back, asked once more, "May I please have your badge number?" Cuffed him. Took it. We found out shortly thereafter that he's been arrested, and we're waiting to find out. He hasn't been booked yet.
So why that specific tarp and not these? What's the difference according to the police department? So these are okay.
They singled this one out down here. I guess it was maybe covering a larger space. I really don't think so.
And what has HPD told you about these tarps or tents? What have you been warned about?
They actually came in yesterday for this particular tarp, and a few of them had let Sean know how to set it up appropriately and which would be the best way.
So HPD came down and recommended how you set it up, and then
How we set up this tent, and then the next day, 27 officers took it down.